And then when it comes to editing, I do all of that. There's times where I go through the story and I've noticed that my past skills from my first run through, and I wrote Lumi Lumi in under 6 months, like 1,000 pages, because of how quickly it flowed through my head, and I just had to put it on paper. But when you go through an old reading, which might be out there on like some pirated site, you can see that it's almost like I'm describing it in terms of I'm watching them versus really going into the voice of the character, which is kind of one of the things I'm working on currently. But as I'm going through my edits, I'm getting better and better and better, and I'm knowing that, hey, saying less is more, meaning like if a paragraph can be said the same way in one sentence, say it in one sentence. But at the same time, I'm witnessing what's in my head and I like what the characters are saying, and I don't just change it because I'm trying to adhere to an audience or a structure that some company may want to tell me how to do. I'm watching the show that I want to see on TV, that I have fallen in love with, and I'm aware of the things that are a bit much or perfectly fine the way that they are. So I do everything. I do not edit through AI at all. I do not put it into AI and say, create this scene for me. No. Maybe at best what I do is, let's say Rai, for example. He has a really smart mouth, if you know him. And sometimes I might have many ways of promoting a sarcastic reply, and I put it into AI and say, this is what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming off entirely correct. Is there a way of wording it that it might be said a little bit more where this type of emotion is shown? And AI honestly is not helpful with anything almost when I go up to it. It's sometimes helpful, but usually I'm figuring out things for AI and saying, nah, you should have done this. And then I realized I ended up just coming up with the idea in the first place. So that's all I used it for. I don't put it into the system to edit, because if it goes in there and edits, it just starts removing a bunch of things that I didn't want removed, or even adding things or confusing things like plu with a word that it's trying to say sometimes. It just does not pan out. And so through repetition of doing this, and I would sit down and edit 5, 6 hours a day, sometimes 9, but I stopped doing it that long, or maybe I break it up because I gave myself cubital tunnel with the mixture, I think, of lifting heavy kegs at a winery, and essentially had my whole left arm paralyzed, and that was something I didn't want to go back to.